Hi everyone and welcome to this video. My name is Michelle and I'm the founder of Be a Brand Rebel and the Brand Rebel Academy. Now, as you can hear, I'm fascinated by brands because I believe that with a brand, when you're consciously building a brand, you can actually make more impact. Now let's look at what it means to have a brand or what a brand really is. If you look at the official description, the definition, as you can see in scientific journals, etc. I remember that from university actually. You can see that a brand, there is the brand identity first. So there's the ID. All right, and your brand identity is actually a combination of all intangible as well as the tangible elements. And everything together should really give out, that makes up the whole brand identity. But then there's, of course, the market. So your audience, your market, they have an idea of who you are as well. So ideally, you have a clear idea, a clear sense of your brand identity, and you're going to position that into the market, all right? And ideally, this means that the audience, so the market, is going to get, they are going to perceive something, they're going to get an experience that matches the actual brand identity. And it's actually, this is an exchange, because without, you can have a brand identity, but if the market doesn't really know you, then there is no brand. So it is always an exchange. But that could also mean, actually, that this is different. Sometimes, if a brand doesn't position themselves in the right way, if they don't create a strong image out there, if they're not positioning themselves with who they really are, the idea that the market has of the brand is going to be different. So there's going to be some kind of discrepancy, a gap between what they're experiencing and what they actually are. And the problem here, the problem is that as soon as the market, so here's the audience, here's your client, and they get an idea of the brand, but as soon as they actually start working with you, they find out that this is completely different. And they can get confused. They can actually be quite disappointed because, if you first get, you get to know the brand and then you get a first idea of who they are. But then as you buy their products, as you get the whole experience with the customer service, you name it, you find out that the way they're positioning themselves doesn't really match their true identity. And the thing is, that kind of disappointment, that kind of discrepancy can actually harm your brand because it means that the wrong types of customers enter your whole working field. So you're working with the wrong type of customers, and the customers that you're working with are getting something that they don't want, probably. Or, and that's a bit it's a big risk because that can actually harm your reputation. And as we've seen, you rely on your reputation for your whole brand because it's not just about the identity. It's not about you in itself alone because you need the market to be successful. So you want this whole process to be aligned as much as possible. So ideally, as a brand, you want to influence the way the market sees you to make sure that this whole discrepancy, that the experience matches, so there's no problem there, because that kind of hiccups can actually lead to bad reviews. Know what I mean? So that means you need to influence that in some way. But to be able to influence the way that the market sees you right now, you need to know exactly who you are, and you think that's a given. You think, yeah, well, everybody knows every business should know who they are. Yes, true, but they don't always. Especially, I'm not talking about, for example, if you're just starting a business, then by all means, just get going with it, and you might want to find out how that whole entrepreneurship works, but at some level you might want to take some more time. Ideally you do that from the beginning, but especially if you want to grow and you want to increase your business, it's very important to, you know, sometimes take a step back and look at what you've done so far and look at the people that you're working with right now and see if that still matches who you want to be and who you want to be working with. And you need to take a step back and really take time for that. That identity, because it's such a rich combination of values, of behavior, of a brand experience, of that whole dream that you have for the world, but also with the logo and the stories, everything, this is all together, you know, it needs to be integrated. You need to make sure that the entire company is aware of that brand that you're trying to position into this world. This needs to align. This is not just a nice, this is not just the makeup, you know. A brand is not just the makeup. It is something that is felt throughout the entire company. So ideally, what I would definitely recommend that you do is every now and then, so like every few years, take a step back. You as the entrepreneur, as the visionary, take a step back and look at that brand identity. Look at who you are and, you know, the whole behavior within the company. If that's just you, that's easy. But if you have staff, you want to make sure that everybody is on the same page and that they know the dreams and that they know what you're working towards, and that they understand that customer so well, and they understand how the customer should be feeling and what they should be experiencing with the brand, so that everybody together can work on that whole experience as a whole, you know, as one brand. Because eventually that will create that consistent experience with the market, and that consistency is so important when it comes to your brand. Now, I hope that this helps you guys. I would definitely recommend that at some point you take the time to look at this. I mean, we can keep going in our business and keep producing and doing our stuff and focusing on our clients, but this is so important, because especially if you want to, you know, manifest something real, I would say sometimes to take a step back, create that overview so you can steer this, you can influence this to make them more happy. Okay, I hope this helps. Give me some love if it does. Tag people, follow me on Instagram, Facebook. I don't know where you're watching this, but I'm happy to help you grow your brand. If you have any specific questions for me that you would like me to do a video on, then please send me a DM or whatever, and I'd love to help you with that. Okay, ciao.